Lecture 3: Salient Features of Indian Constitution. Parliamentary or presidential system. India is a republic and the head is the president. All the executive power vests with president and under his name these powers are exercised. The president is also the supreme commander of all the forces. However, unlike the US president, the Indian president is only the nominal or constitutional head. The President only acts with the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, who are collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. Thus, following the British pattern, the Constitution of India adopts both the central and state level the parliamentary system of government. In this system, all ministers are responsible to the popular house, that is the Lok Sabha, as against the US system of presidential government. India has adopted the system followed in the UK, where the executive is responsible to the legislature and remain in power till it enjoys the confidence of the legislature. Parliamentary sovereignty versus judicial supremacy. In the British Parliament system, Parliament is supreme and sovereign. There are no limitations on its power. In the US system, the Supreme Court will, with its power of judicial review and with its power of interpreting the constitution, has assumed supremacy, where in India a compromise between the British sovereignty of parliament and American judicial supremacy can be seen. In India, the judiciary can review administrative actions and the court can also determine the constitutionality of the law. But since India has a written constitution and the power and functions of every organ are defined, hence both the Parliament and Supreme Court are supreme in their respective spheres. For instance, the Supreme Court may declare a law passed by Parliament as unconstitutional on the grounds of being violative of the Constitution. On the other hand, the Parliament can amend most parts of the Constitution with reasonable restriction. Adult franchise, universal adult suffrage. India adopted the one man, one vote, one value principle. Universal adult suffrage gives every adult Indian without any distinction equal voting rights. It was remarkable poverty and illiteracy of the Indian populace. Even in the advanced democracies of the West, the franchise was extended only gradually. Charter of Fundamental Rights. One of the fundamental demands of leaders of the national struggle for independence was that people having some basic rights of freedom, equality, etc. The problem of minorities further made the need of having a formal declaration of certain justiciable fundamental rights. The fundamental rights were incorporated in Part 3 of the Constitution. These rights are inviolable rights of individual against the state subject to reasonable restriction. Directive principles. It is a unique feature of India's constitution. Most of the socio-economic rights of people have been included under directive principles. Even though these principles are not enforced in the court of law, they are fundamental in the governance of the country. Fundamental duties. The 42nd Amendment Act added a new part to the constitution under the head of fundamental duties. It lays down a set of duties for all the citizens of India, as there can be no rights without corresponding duties. Citizenship. Indian constitution provides for one single citizenship despite federal structure. Unlike the US, there is no separate citizenship of the union and of the state. All citizens are entitled to have the same rights without any discrimination, subject to few special protection in case of Jammu and Kashmir, tribal areas, etc. Independent judiciary. The Constitution of India establishes an independent judiciary with powers of judicial review. The High Court and the Supreme Court forms a single integrated judicial structure with jurisdiction over all laws. The Supreme Court also resolves the dispute between union and states, and its decision in the regard will be final and binding. Conclusion. The Constitution of India is the most comprehensive document. It is unique in many ways. It cannot be fitted in any particular model. It is a blend of the rigid and flexible, federal and unitary, and presidential and parliamentary. It attempts a balance between the fundamental rights of the individual on the one hand and the socio-economic interests of the people on the other hand. While many constitutions of the India's frame after World War II have floundered, India's constitution has successfully faced many crises and survived. This itself is evidence of its resilience, dynamism, and growth potential.